Hello, everyone. Beth here. We'll be taking a look at a complete research writing paper so that you all get an idea of what we're looking for in the final product. Also, just so you know, the things that you'll hand in for your draft are the introduction and the annotated bibliography. So just those two parts of the paper. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at the whole paper. First, I'm going to zoom out so you can get an idea how long it is, how big it is. Well, let's take a look. Okay, it's 13 pages. Now, if that looks scary, don't be frightened. The first page is just a title page, right? One of the pages is just graph data based on the research the author did. Two of the pages are a Vragenlijst Enquête questionnaire that the student used. And some of this is also bibliography. So really we're talking about, I guess, 8 pages of writing. Okay, so what are the parts of the paper? Well, the title page. And this person researched student and teacher experiences using the target language in the EFL classroom, English as a foreign language, and investigation. And this was from research writing last year. Now what we see is the introduction. It's a little more than an A4. Okay, and what is in the introduction? Well, the person who wrote the paper, the student, gives us an overview of what the issue is, target language in the classroom, and they use meal paragraph structure to explain what the current research says about this topic. So the person cites other researchers, Dixon and Ellis, Stephen Krashen, Crichton, Kabudi, Ryan and Deci, Williams and Burden. There are a lot of sources here. And then in the end, the introduction tells us the purpose of this study is to investigate whether learners acknowledge the benefits of using the target language in the classroom. And they give their research question. As such, the research question of this present article is, to what extent does the usage of English among first-year students at the Maginaire Lyceum in North Holland affect self-confidence and motivation in class? Further, do these learners feel safe speaking the target language in the classroom environment? Do these learners feel motivated by their teachers? And lastly, how much do these learners understand when spoken to in the target language? Then the person ends their introduction, drawing on the theory that target language is mostly used in the classroom. I hypothesize that most learners should be able to understand what is said. This is coupled with the fact that they likely feel safe and have self-confidence in the classroom. In addition, I hypothesize that this positive foundation will increase their motivation. To test this hypothesis, I plan to ask learners to fill in an open-ended survey. All right. Now the author goes on to explain the methods. Here's the goal of the research. They describe the school a little bit and what the average level of English in the group is, A2. And you'll notice that what they use is the English translations, lower general secondary ed, higher general secondary ed, pre-university. So basically we're talking VMBO, HAVO, and VWO. So it's a brede school, right? It does lots of different levels. And they also describe the group of learners that they used for their research. They explain the questionnaire and the procedure. Okay. Now what you see here, very nice, it's the results of the questionnaire. So they broke it down into a graph. How many students did they actually talk with or get information from? 26. All right, that's a pretty decent pool of participants. And what you see is that the author broke it down by strongly agree to disagree entirely. And then you can see, for example, 70% of the students have more than one language as their first language, second language. A little, less than, a little more than half basically understand the target language, English. 61% find English easy. 61% like it when the teacher uses the target language, and so on. 83%, that's quite interesting, are not afraid to make mistakes in class. 100% believe that English is important for the future. Okay, so we have our results. Now what the person does here is just describes the results. They don't make any conclusions or interpretations. They just tell us what the results were. So this section just describes what they found here in the graph. So you see, for example, interestingly enough, 100% believe that the English language is very important for their future. In addition, 91% declare. So basically, this is just giving us the facts, right? Okay, describing the above data, that's results. Now the analysis. This is where the person is going to tell us what they think about it. When consulting the results, I can state that my hypothesis that most learners understand target language and feel safe in the classroom is correct. Okay. And then they talk a bit about motivation and how further research should be done. They talk a bit about another conclusion or suggestion is that more research should be done to ask students in detail what the differences are between speaking English in class and speaking English outside of school. And then, okay, analysis. The results of this study show that 100% of the students find English important and target language in the classroom beneficial for their second language learning. However, repetition and a slow speaking pace on the teacher is requested by some. Furthermore, 92% do not mind interruption by their teacher and acknowledge the beneficial value of feedback to improve their language learning. These findings make clear that the overwhelming majority of students enjoy exposure to English in class, feel that it is beneficial to learning and important for their future. So they've analyzed what the students think and what the author thinks. Now here they've included a bit about, well, what were the kind of limitations? What could the study, the research not do? And what could they improve? So, the author says, oh, I could do this in the questionnaire and make that different. I could further research this. There should have been questions on this topic. So this is also important to include as an author. And then the last bit of writing, anyway, here in the paper itself is the conclusion and the recommendations. Okay, so again, what was the research all about? And what can we conclude from it? Well, we can see that a safe learning environment is not created only by the use of native language. In fact, students prefer target language in the classroom. The students seem willing to learn and speak, but do seek feedback from their teacher to keep motivated. Unfortunately, our research showed that the majority of the students are not complimented and therefore most likely miss some motivation. Okay, so and here they make recommendations. The teacher should be aware of their role as motivator and give feedback. The teacher should be aware of the different levels between students and differentiate where needed. For example, adjust their pace or by repetition. The teacher should also prepare assignments for the quick learners so they stay motivated. Overall, it is very important for teachers to be aware of their actions and behaviors in the classroom, as this could motivate or demotivate students. In particular, this is so because the majority of students acknowledge the benefits of using. So again, they've made some conclusions, some recommendations about what teachers should do based on the research. And then we have the bibliography, and you see that it's alphabetized, right? It goes alphabetically. This person used a lot of sources, books, magazines, websites. And here's the annotated bibliography. There are 3 of these. You take one, you write a little summary and a response to it. Another source, what was the source about? What did you think of it? And why? How will you use it? And one more. So there are 3 of these. The source, a little summary, what did you think of it, your response, and how you would use it in how you used it in your paper. And then last, the person include the enquête, the questionnaire, the vragenlijst, which they did in Dutch, which is fine. And keep in mind that you don't have to create your own vragenlijst. If you like, you can use the ones that we already have in both English and Dutch on the Brightspace page. All right, so this is a complete paper, just to give you an idea what we're looking for. I hope this helps.